This is Julianne Edgar of Gemini Social Enterprises sitting here with Dr. Dean K. Ziegler. So Dr. Ziegler, tell me, what is it that you do?
I'm a chiropractor. I specialize in spinal trauma. I see a lot of personal injury patients as well as workers' compensation patients. I'm certified in chiropractic spinal trauma and whiplash, and I have a 3-year postgraduate degree in rehabilitation exercises.
Great. Dr. Ziegler, how did you get started in your career?
Interesting enough, Julie, my brother started me. He was finishing up chiropractic school and loved it so much that he got me to go in there, and I was one of his patients. So we might say I had a family connection to get involved.
Family affair, indeed. So, are you qualified to treat workman's compensation injuries originating in New York?
Yes. Perhaps the biggest qualification, Julie, is that I treated a patient who had a large case. It was against New York City Transit Authority. And I believe it was a $1 million lawsuit. But I did testify on his behalf in the Brooklyn Workman's Compensation Court. The reason I bring this up is simply that just treating someone is just, it doesn't cut it as far as that's concerned. You need to know exactly what pitfalls and so on from the New York system.
I see. All right. Well, I'm glad you have insight to that. So why is it so hard to find a participating Pennsylvania doctor to treat New York workman's compensation injuries?
The interesting part, that's a great question. The interesting part simply is that in the state of Pennsylvania, a lot of people are on a panel physician. I myself am on the state of Pennsylvania workman's compensation panel of physicians. And a lot of the larger corporations that deal with this are used to being on a panel. Their mindset, I guess, would be simply that they don't want to get involved in New York because they feel they're not on anyone's panel. And of course, the issue of compensation. What happens, though, is in the state of Pennsylvania, as long as you reside in Pennsylvania and treat here in Pennsylvania, such as my office, you will be certain reciprocity as far as getting the claim through the New York State. So once again, people who live here that moved in from New York do qualify to become patients and still have their workers' compensation claim open in the state of New York.
That sounds complicated. I'm glad somebody understands that. So, Dr. Ziegler, what is your professional advice for someone who sustains a workman's compensation injury in New York?
The biggest thing they have to do, especially if they move here, is just simply to have all the records, and most of my patients do, but have all the records handy, see a participating physician like myself. The biggest thing is in my clinic, we operate with the current and pre-existing physicians that treated them before in the state of New York. And then we formulate our own case, we help build their case, and basically continue treatment on the same parameters that they had before.
Great. Thanks for your insights, Doctor.
Thank you.